Tonight on AfterBuzz TV, NBA Playoffs After Show, we break down Game 1 of Cavs and Celtics and a whole lot more. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Is the bell tolling on the Celtics season like you're hearing in the beat?
For sure.
Most likely. But we're going to break it down live on AfterBuzzTV.com, the AfterBuzz TV YouTube page, iTunes, SoundCloud. You're liking, subscribing, telling your friends about AfterBuzz TV and AfterBuzz Sports. As we break down Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. What's up, everybody? I'm Josh Tariff, Twitter at Josh Tariff. Jill Munroe at Stiletto Jill in the house with me.
I am, and you know where to find me, at Stiletto Jill. Tonight it is 1 Jill and 3 Joshes, so I'm holding it down for the ladies.
That's right. Josh Johnson at JJ the Talented here.
Yes, sir. Checking in, reporting for duty, sir.
Hey, you salute our coach in the booth, Mr. Josh Rodriguez at Josh_Rodriguez_.
What's up, guys? How's it going?
It's going all
Pleasure
right.
to be here. 3 Joshes and a Jill.
3 Joshes and a Jill. Coming
Sounds
this
like a
fall
show
to
idea.
CBS.
Right. That sounds like the title of a CBS show.
It would be
does.
CBS.
Right. It definitely would be CBS.
It's not Fox.
Not Fox, not CW.
No,
Definitely not
CW.
ABC.
Oh, no. Yeah. And it wouldn't be NBC because they don't do much.
Right. All right.
Anyway. Hey, Game 1 happened. Did the Celtics know? That's my opening question.
Good one.
Did the
Good one.
Celtics know Game 1 happened?
Do they still know?
I think they were aware that something was going on,
Okay.
you know? Isaiah knew.
Why do you say that?
IT. Why do I say new?
Yeah.
Because he, we're just going to go there. He got fed up. What was that? The third quarter where he tried to show his team that he had heart and take that charge with LeBron. Maybe he thought it was going to be a block. I feel like he was going for the charge.
He was going for the charge, but he jumped. Didn't he jump?
He jumped, but I still feel like, I don't know.
He wanted to fly.
He might. I
Just had to help. If he
Yeah,
held on.
he booked his ticket for Flight
take
LeBron.
a flight,
That's what he
yeah.
did.
Flight 23. No,
And
Yeah,
LeBron treated him like United did.
Yeah.
Their customers.
Oh.
pretty much. I mean, but
All
shout
in his
out
face.
to IT for having the heart to go up against that because, guys that are like 2 times the size would not. They would politely move to the left.
Well, no, one thing that every basketball fan loves about Isaiah Thomas is he goes all out every game. He's going to go after LeBron. He's not going to stop him from dunking, but he's going to try.
Because he
And there's
wants
so
to
many people that will
definitely
run out of the
gonna
way.
He wants to inspire his teammates. Look, if I'm out here doing this at 5'10", what are you guys doing, big man? Hello? Can you stop him?
5'10" on a good day. But if he wants to inspire his teammates, he has to lead them, I think, in the points category. And I said this before, as long as any team at this point, I think, forces someone else to get be the leading scorer on Boston besides Isaiah Thomas, they're going to win the game. And when he's not leading scorer, they're losing.
I mean, but really, do you think what could they have done? Because it was, LeBron, right? Oh, there are people in the chat. What's up in the chat? I see you guys a little bit there.
Yeah, but again, LeBron. But here's the thing.
Kevin Love
showed up big. Tristan Thompson has continued to be dominant in the playoffs. Kyrie did not really do much. So
I heard a theory about why Kyrie wasn't around.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so
What kind of off the wall theory?
No.
is that?
It's actually not that bad. It's not that bad. And I apologize because I'm not giving accurate credit to who said it because I can't remember. But it's not an original thought with me, so I'll preface it with that.
You can just take the credit. Just steal it.
Nah, we're gonna be good sharers.
Okay.
Anyway, that's not the word I want. So they said that Kyrie is the Cavs closer. So he hasn't had much to do in the playoffs thus far because there hasn't been a situation where the Cavs needed him to really close and kind of take over. Kind of like with Kobe and Shaq, where Kobe would have it in the early quarters, fourth quarter time, it's Kobe time.
No, that makes sense.
It's an interesting take. That's
Yeah, I mean,
because I never thought of it that way.
Yeah, because Kyrie can explode on the scoreboard when he wants to or when he needs to. But yeah, they haven't needed him to. But what I'm saying is, Cavs won by 13, 117 to 104, but they really won by like 30 and just didn't really play it all in the fourth quarter. So my point is, they still have the third best point guard in the NBA, or fourth best, who hasn't done anything yet. So it's like, if they're like, oh, Kyrie, can you do some stuff? The Celtics have no shot.
No.
And I feel bad saying it because I love the Celtics team. I love their camaraderie. I love how hard they play.
Really?
I love how hard they play. I love their depth. But now Kevin Love isn't going to do 32 and 12 each game this series. We're aware of that.
He had flashes of Minnesota.
Right. But he's still going to play well. And then if Kyrie does stuff, J.R. Smith only had 2 points. Darren Williams only had 3 points. Korver only had 3 points. They're all going to get more than that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And
we're just waiting for the main event.
Right. If they're having these type of games and they're still crushing them, then what happens when they're all clicking?
I mean, go ahead.
I was gonna say we've been waiting for the main event since the season started. I think we pretty much predicted what would happen.
I think that we
Golden
got
State and Cleveland. But to your point, Josh, about the Celtics not having a chance, do you think they can win at least one game this series, or is this a sweep?
If they win game 2, that's their only shot. Game 2 is their only shot.
Game 2 is their only shot.
I thought the game for them to win would have been game 1 after that 10 days of rest. I mean, the way LeBron is playing in the playoffs or just the end of the season, you have to think about how much rest he's gotten this year, period. And in the playoffs, he's kind of on another level. And I really don't think that there's anything that the Celtics can do to stop this train.
There's nothing any human can do to stop it.
Well, there's a team waiting in the West, possibly.
Oh, yeah.
That, you know,
it's
going to be quite interesting. But as far as the East goes, the Celtics are an unconventional number 1. You know, we have to think about the fact that the Cavs are starting on the road.
And the Cavs, I mean, yeah, the Cavs really were number 1 this season. It was, I mean, the way that the Celtics got number 1 was just,
you know, I'm not mad at it.
They got the spot, but Cavs lost the spot.
Take your moral victories, take your number 1 draft pick, and start again next year.
And that's another thing, because now all of a sudden, now that the lottery happened, Celtics have the number 1 pick. All of a sudden, all the sports outlets, they're not talking about the fact necessarily that the Celtics have the number 1 pick. They're talking about the fact that, what are we going to do with Isaiah Thomas? Are we going to keep him? Are we going to trade him? And it's like, really, why is all this coming out now?
Because there's nothing else to talk about with the game.
With this series.
It's just maybe individual performances. We can keep, you know, heralding whatever IT does, and maybe somebody else will appear or step up. But otherwise, it's a look to the future.
And it's interesting because, I mean, the Celtics in game 1, I mean, again, they were very balanced. They had 6 guys in double figures. Normally, when you do that, that should lead to a victory, except for the fact that you're not just playing any ordinary team right now. So, like you guys are saying, Isaiah Thomas definitely needs to step up. 17 points, that's good for a role player in the playoffs, but he should be scoring much more than that.
Yeah.
Avery Bradley has been on a hot streak. He had another 21 this past in game 1. But to me, I think the bigger story than Isaiah Thomas not showing up was Horford got destroyed by Tristan Thompson.
That doesn't just surprise me. I mean, Al Horford, if you think back when he was in Atlanta, he has moments where he's an absolute beast, but those moments are so far and few in between when they really count, where it's sustainable. I don't know. I wasn't impressed with him. I haven't been impressed with him any of the playoff series thus far. Maybe a game, I think.
I think he did really well in the second round against Washington. He had some very big games, like very balanced, you know, X amount of points, X amount of rebounds, a lot of double-doubles with a lot of assists for a big man, too. But, I mean, 4 of 11 shooting, 11 points, 8 rebounds. Did have 6 assists, but, I mean, when you're comparing that to Tristan Thompson, a guy who's not a scorer, 7 for 7 from the field, 20 points, 9 boards.
You know what's happening with Christian Thompson, though. You know what that is.
You get that Chloe love.
Right.
But that
No. They win first, and then they have a bad falling off.
Oh.
Yeah. So initially, there's that rush and that bump up.
It gives you that like Super Mario Star boost.
Okay.
Exactly.
But
and
that boost
then,
runs out.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then you're back to being normal.
And then he falls into lava.
Right.
Okay.
You know how it is. Rainbow Road.
There you go.
Rainbow Road. Don't fall off Rainbow Road.
In the chat real quick, Parker Bradley says, just want to wish you guys luck on this live stream because these playoffs are boring.
Well, we hope you're entertaining. We're entertaining you right now.
Right.
You're obviously in the chat roll, so we're doing something right.
Do you have something you want to discuss? You want to add to the conversation?
Yeah, might as well open it up to the forum because we don't got a whole lot to talk about this week because it's Cavs dominant. So what do the Celtics need to, besides obviously Isaiah going off, besides that, what else can they do to potentially even this series?
They need somebody to match Tristan's intensity. So what Tristan is bringing as far as defensively on the Cavs side, somebody on the Celtics, one of their big men, need to step up and get a body on. I mean, Kevin or something. They need to be effective because LeBron's going to do what LeBron's going to do. You can't slow him down, really. You can't stop him. So you have to make sure that those other pieces aren't in play.
I think you can shut down Kevin Love.
Absolutely.
You can throw LeBron off his game. I think he can be thrown off his game, LeBron. They will need to do those two things, and Isaiah has to score, be the leading scorer. He has to have like 32 points.
32, that's a very precise number.
And then somebody on the bench has to, their second unit has to put in some points.
Smart, Olenek, where were they in game one? They were nowhere to be found. After Olenek had that incredible Game 7.
And I think that realistically, this season overall, how many games like that have you seen from him?
Olenek? Well, no, he's not a 26-point-a-game guy.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, just of that intensity, maybe not 26, let's just say 20, and that type of effort and intensity and difference maker in the game. Because he wasn't just scoring. I mean, he obviously was scoring, but he also was doing little things, to disrupt plays in the middle, kind of just being a nuisance, I felt. So, but overall, that's not,
It's not going to get you to beat the Cavs.
Right.
Yeah. And I don't see him getting any better in this series.
Coach Rodriguez, what do you think?
As far as what the Celtics need to do?
Yeah.
I mean, there's really not much they can do. I mean, they don't have anyone to stop LeBron going to the rim. He's going to get whatever he wants going to the basket. He's just going to dominate the whole series. And then on top of that, if you have contributions from Kevin Love, they're going to be virtually unbeatable. They didn't really even need Kyrie last game. It's insane.
Right.
I mean, wait till he gets hot. Kevin Love doesn't need to drop 30. Kyrie's going to drop 25 next game or something like that. They're just a better team right now. And unless the Celtics have everybody contributing, I know that you guys said Isaiah Thomas has to get 30, but, Crowder had 20, I think, last game, 21, something
21.
like that. But, Horford had 11, I think.
Yes.
Like you said, Smart and Olynyk had nothing. Isaiah Thomas needs contributions from everybody else while stopping the Cleveland Cavaliers offense. And I don't know if they can do that, but I think a way they can actually make up for some room is if their bench outplays Cleveland's bench. Their second unit has to make up for what the first unit can't do. So basically, Olynyk, Smart, Jaylen Brown, they're going to need to outplay, Fry, Darren Williams, Shumpert, and make up ground that the starting five is going to lose, because you're just not going to beat LeBron on the court.
All right, so do we think the Celtics can pull off a win in Game 2?
I don't. I think that they're going to get swept.
No, but here's the thing about what Josh just said about the bench. The Celtics bench outscored Cleveland 34-14.
But to be fair, how much of that was in the fourth quarter garbage time? That's the thing too.
That I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
But I think the Celtics. I feel their 8th, 9th, 10th players are better than Cleveland's 8th, 9th, 10th players.
But I feel like with the Cavs, what you have is, the Celtics bench is obviously younger. They have there are things that they have physically over the Cavs bench, but the Cavs have a lot of experienced veterans that have been heavily into the playoffs, and I don't feel that that's
87-year-old Richard Jefferson.
And they click. And they operate
Channing,
well together.
So I think you look at the Celtics bench by comparison, and even with this older bench that's a little slower, I think that the trickery, just, the veteran moves and things like that, I think that they'll be outmatched. Obviously, we saw it didn't show up last night, but you brought up a good point about garbage time. I don't think that the Celtics, we saw what happened during the season. Not that, the season is an indicator really of where the teams will be, but the Cavs absolutely destroyed the Celtics. So I just feel like this is just procedural.
What was the season split? Anybody remember regular season?
wanna say-
I'd have to look it up. I want to say maybe 3-1.
Yeah,
Cleveland.
I think so. But I
I
feel
think
like
the one they lost was LeBron didn't play or something like that.
it was just like something when they did play and they played them pretty late in the season, I believe, and like one of those later games in late March, early April, and I feel like the Cavs were just destructive to the Celts, but
Yeah, I'm trying to
Find it.
but I'm failing. It's just popping up. Eastern Conference Finals.
Live chat. Parker Bradley says if the Celtics put all their energy in stopping LeBron, they have a chance of winning a game if the rest of the Cavs fall on their face.
Here's the thing: they're not gonna though, because even if LeBron has a bad game, like we were talking about earlier, well, Kyrie's gonna show up.
Right.
Like I think Game 2 is gonna be a
we
lot.
haven't seen J.R. Smith this finals really.
Right. I think Game 2 is gonna be a lot closer. I do think Cleveland's still going to win, and it's going to be because of Kyrie in Game 2. LeBron will still have his. He'll still have, like, close to 30. But I think they're gonna shut down Kevin Love. He might only end up having, like, 12 or 14 points, something like that. Yeah. I think Kyrie is going to take off in Game 2. And I'm going to say Cleveland wins by, like, 5.
5?
It'll be a close game. But I think Cleveland's going to hold off, and then if it's going to Cleveland at that point, I mean, I don't think so. I mean, they got the first pick. They got the first pick.
They had a really good season. They overachieved. Well,
the future looks bright.
It's not over.
Yes, it does. It looks very bright for them. Between the possibility of getting Gordon Hayward, between the number 1 pick.
And the Gordon Hayward thing sounds like that's really could be something likely to happen.
Well, he's either staying put, going to Indiana, or going to Boston. It's going to be one of those three.
I was reading today that because he did not make an All-NBA team, did you guys read this?
Yes.
That it works out that Utah cannot offer him max money.
Same thing goes with Paul George with the Pacers.
Paul George, same thing.
Easy pass. It's the easy pass to other teams. And didn't what is the Celtics coach Brad
Stevens?
Yeah. He and Gordon have a history.
He coached Hayward at Butler.
Yeah, so there's a relationship there.
Right, he's got the relationship there, and he's from Indiana. And then obviously his career's blossomed in Utah. So it's like everyone's saying, it's gonna be one of those 3 teams. We'll see with that. But So that's kind of a breakdown of the Eastern Conference Finals. Saturday is Game 3 of the Western Conference Finals. So this is really the best thing that the Spurs could have asked for, having like 6 days off in between games.
Yeah,
so Kawhi could rest up and be ready to play.
Is he playing yet? Do we know?
I believe they said he will play.
I just feel like 3 ankle injuries during the playoffs, 3 sprained ankles is a lot. And even if he's better, nowhere near 100%, and just with cutting and the type of defending that he does,
that's tough.
It's a scary prospect, because I also think that you have to consider, future injuries. I know that obviously you're playing for a title, and that's the important thing, but just career-wise for the Spurs overall, I just think that you have to also be cognizant of their future, because he's their centerpiece. And, LaMarcus Aldridge, if you're depending upon him, I feel as though you're going to be let down more often than not.
EXO host says Tristan dumped Chloe, so they have a chance now. Sorry.
There you go.
Oh, okay.
That's why he's so dominant.
So you say, but the last time that rumor popped up, Chloe showed up at the game, putting her the scoreboard on Snapchat to let you know she was in the building and not just perpetrating. So I don't know. You never know.
Well, I think the one kind of silver lining, maybe not necessarily for the Spurs in general, but for a particular player, Jonathan Simmons has turned into a superstar.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
By the way, I just pulled it up. You want to know what Simmons' salary is for this season?
$750.
Close. He's making $874,636.
What a deal.
And let's not just
That man's getting paid.
And remember, he paid $150 or something like that to try out for the D League team, which ultimately got him on the Spurs radar. That he ended up getting picked up for. The
Are there
Spurs.
still D League teams that are that you can try out for? The public can try out for?
Sometimes they have that.
I think they do. They do once in a while.
Yeah, they do once in a while.
offer open tryouts.
I still have a chance.
You do.
Is that a goal?
No.
You know, we have two.
Not this-
Okay, I'm like, because there's two attachments now.
We can bring a camera crew. We can film
Right.
your journey.
LA Defenders,
No,
you know.
Defenders, they had, I think their first season they had an open tryout. Yeah.
Look,
Um,
AfterBuzz Sports
Af-
player
Achilles,
and
I've already torn my Achilles. It's all over.
Okay.
It's all over.
Well, Kobe made a comeback.
Kawhi
Well,
sprained his
not much.
Kawhi sprained his ankle 84 times so far this playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still trying to play. But yeah, are we just gonna have 2 sweeps?
I hope so. I think that would make the finals more.
Yeah, let's
just
we
get
can
it
get
out
to
the
the
way.
let's get to it faster because I really want to see this. I want to see this finals matchup.
Me
Well,
too.
it won't speed it up anymore because there's a set date for Game 1 of the finals, no matter when the series
June?
ends.
But we
June
can
something?
pretend that we can stop pretending that we care about these other series or that something really impactful is going to happen in them.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, get through it. Let them rest up for all I care. Let's just.
Well, with that, while we're letting them rest up, I think Jill's got some news for us.
So really quickly, since we're already talking about the Spurs and Warriors series, there is a fan in San Antonio, a group of fans. They're also season ticket holders who aren't happy about the injury to Kawhi. So if you recall, he got hurt late in Game 1.
Yes.
So these fans.
It makes you sick
Yes,
reading
it does. Just coursing through me. They want to file suit against Zaza Pachulia. Here's the thing. There's a restraining order that was attached to this, too. Now, the judge threw out the
What?
restraining order portion of it.
What is the restraining order for?
I don't know, but the problem is that the judge didn't throw out the petition for this suit yet. So I think that the NBA Players Association is going to have to pay attention to things like this because if, Coach Pop has been really, the things that he's been saying about Zaza have been really damaging to him as a player. Coach Pop never comes out and says anything. So if he's going this hard in the paint, he's a dirty player, and now fans are trying to sue. And this judge is not just striking this down and letting it keep it moving. That could put the players in an interesting predicament if the Players Association doesn't develop a plan for this.
Well, the big Pandora's box with that is the fact that if this somehow actually goes to a full-blown case because someone got hurt, what about people who just sit out games? And they're going to want their money back too. That I think is the bigger gateway in this, because all of a sudden, if this were to all of a sudden unfold and go through all that, which I don't think it will, then it's going to be like, all right, well, all these ticket prices have an asterisk by them that you got to make sure that these type of players play X amount of minutes or something like that.
Right.
Again, that's not going to happen anytime soon. Maybe down the road some rule will happen if players are being sat, and then who's going to have to pay those tickets back? It's going to be the owner
Owners.
who's going to take the money from the players
The
Yep.
players.
or the coach. I mean,
No, they'll pass that cost along to the fans.
oh,
I would think the ticket prices.
Yeah.
What was the claim on the suit?
Basically, they claim that they devastated the quality of the Spurs' chances of being competitive and decreased the value of tickets purchased by the plaintiffs.
oh my God!
They said Pachulia acted without excuse or justification, intentionally and maliciously invaded the landing zone of an opposing athlete. The suit also says
The
that
man got hurt during a game.
right. That
Yeah.
even though Pachulia maintained that his actions weren't of malicious intent, all we're asking from the court is that this type of behavior that can and does cause serious injury to our team and those that love it not be allowed in San Antonio. So, yeah.
So what
they're trying to
damages are
banish
they
They're suing
seeking?
for
Pachulia.
damages, $75,000 worth of in damages.
They didn't spend $75,000.
Why is the value of their ticket diminished? It's
Because there's also-
admission to a game.
Yeah,
a game
I
is
think
still
that
being
there
played.
are a couple of fans involved, and then there's also the aspect of what can I tag on for
Emotional
show pain, yeah, those type of things.
Oh
So,
my God!
I'm
I'm gonna give them the LaVar ball. Stay in your lane. Just stay
Oh.
in your lane.
Speaking of LaVar Ball,
Oh, no, don't tell me.
moving on.
No,
to next up.
Oh, God.
So by now we've heard about the little incident that happened on FS1, Colin Cowherd's show, between LaVar Ball and
That pissed me off so
Kristen-
much. You have no
Kristen
idea how much.
Leahy.
You have no
Yeah.
idea how much that angered me.
So let me ask you, do you think that Kristen, not her comments so much when she asked about how many shoes were sold, because I would have asked the same thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
But previously, and I'm sure he knows it because I have a feeling that LaVar watches all of his press, that she said that he was abusive to his sons, that he made them play. And that it was a form of abuse, and that you could tell that Lonzo doesn't even want to speak. You know, he's almost scared to speak. And that sort of set the tone as to why LaVar was a little...
Was defensive and taken aback because she was speaking the truth? Yeah.
But do you think that he has a right? Because when you start talking abuse, that's a different conversation.
No, there's talking about stuff like that, and then there's being a sexist, racist piece of garbage that LaVar Ball is.
He wouldn't even look at her. But do you, I mean, also...
she was behind him. Why?
Because he's addressing her.
In the context of the tiff, like, of course he's not gonna look at her.
CJ Houston
he's trying
says
to
he was out
prove
of
her
pocket.
like irrelevant, and it's a diss basically. Like, I'm turning my back to you. I'm focused.
Right.
on
But let
Colin
me ask you, because the thing that was interesting to me about this is that LaVar is the type, like, I know his type. He's the type, he can dish it, he can take it. He's, even with the disses, he's joking. His tone got very, very serious with her. And do you think it was just because, I mean, he's been asked about the number of shoes sold before, you know, and he always manages to laugh or give one of those charming little creative answers that still kind of is ambiguous. Do you think that it was leftover hostility, or just that it's like, you're a woman, stay in your lane? Or was he really concerned because Charlemagne the God, who is one of the hosts on the Breakfast Club, had tweeted out that one of the most dangerous things as a black man you can have happen to you is a white woman say, are you threatening me?
Yeah.
Because that completely changes the tone and the structure of any statement or conversation you're involved with. So was he somewhat justified, like any of that, or he just handled it completely wrong?
I'm really going to try my best to choose my words wisely because I feel like LaVar Ball is the worst thing to happen to basketball in 20 years.
Really?
Okay.
I might be exaggerating a little bit on the length, but it's up there. This guy is not a player. His son is the player.
Right.
He's damaging his son's reputation throughout the league. There are going to be players in the NBA that are going to be going out for his head based
I
on
have
his
something
father.
connected to that.
Then he's got 2 more kids that are going to be going out there. And now in college, everything's going to be thrown at them by all the negativity that he's doing. He talked about how UCLA screwed things up because they played too many white guys on the court. And then he's saying Christine Leahy, who is a really good journalist, I enjoy her work very much on Colin Cowherd, again, FS1, that she doesn't really know what she's talking about because she's a woman. And then he's saying, well, the brand isn't, or baller brand isn't for you because you're not a baller, because you're a woman.
I don't recall him saying that at all.
No, he
just said it wasn't for you.
He pretty much
or anything.
No, but pretty much broke down that the baller brand was not supposed to be for women. That was how everyone, like so many other radio broadcasters, interpreted it as well, and that's how I interpreted it too.
I thought he might. I didn't really care about that. I'm gonna be honest to you. Like him saying it's not for anybody or whatever. That's his defensive brush off. I just thought the whole exchange was awkward, but I also felt that I know that there were some words that Kristen used that were inflammatory in that circumstance.
It would leave you raw as a parent. Although I think he's put himself out there in such a way that he's going to be open to criticisms for sure. Mm-hmm. And he's a circus act. He's entertainment, I think.
Well, not just that.
People
I felt like when she said, "Are you threatening me?" Because I didn't feel
it was not a threat.
I didn't feel that it was a threat.
It was just a way of saying when you act like that, things are going to come back to you.
Karma. It's just like when people say karma.
One of our live chatters said the same thing. Is karma. I didn't see him. I did not take him as saying I'm going to come get you for what you said. It was when you say things like that, things are going to happen. Like it's going to come back to you. In other words, you can expect for anybody not to have a response, whether it's him, Give me a verbal response, or anyone else, just in general.
The question that I have not seen asked about when it comes to this big baller brand and the footwear and the price and all these things that really disturbs me is that, what about wear testing? How do the shoes fit? What's up with the toe box? Do they have good ankle support? If you're charging premium price and you say that these are performance shoes for actual ballers and players, that to me is a big concern that nobody's voicing, and why.
Because he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about.
But nobody else is asking that question either. That right there is a smack dab reason. Explain to me what type of technology is in your shoe for this price point.
He's not going to answer because he doesn't know the answer.
He doesn't know the answer, and that's really nothing new, because you have shoes that from Adidas, from Nike now, that you're not even allowed to try on. You just have to know. They're in-demand shoes.
What shoes?
The Yeezys I have on right now.
Okay, but Yeezys
are shoes
not,
that you can't even try on. You just got.
But those are lifestyle shoes.
Them.
I'm not any performance shoe you get. Lifestyle shoes are one thing, because there's another connotation with that. I'm talking about as a performance shoe on the court to make you big baller certified. I need to know something about your performance thing. I need to be able to exchange it. I can't just be the seed money for your company. Because
I don't think he's worried about that right now. I think he's just worried about capitalizing and getting the money from it, and pushing his brand forward.
To your point about other players maybe getting at him, this isn't another player, but Ben Simmons' sister, Olivia, tweeted to LaVar Ball, "I hope my brother dunks on Lonzo so hard next year that his daddy runs on the court to help him up. Hey, LaVar Ball, can I get some women's leggings? Oh, wait, you don't cater to everyone. You're a marketing genius." And then she said, "I'm thinking it'll be a top 4 play if his dad isn't at the game, but an all-time great moment if Papa's there." But she's a sister, so she doesn't have to go on court and face it.
She needs to first worry about Ben Simmons getting on court. He's never touched an NBA floor during the regular season.
That's a fair point, because he's got to play in the NBA too.
Yeah.
But he's not coming out with $450 sneakers before he steps on the court.
I'm not defending LaVar Ball. I don't have to defend LaVar Ball. I mean, that guy stands on his own. He has to defend himself. But I believe there are women's shirts for Big Baller Brand. There are not women's shoes. There's women clothing.
Here's the thing. The first women's sneaker for basketball was Sheryl Swoopes in the 90s. Since then, we've had a couple. Did Candace Parker get her own shoe? Maybe. I'm not sure if Skylar Diggins did. There's only been a few. So most women end up wearing men's shoes anyway. So it's not even that aspect of him. His shoe sizes don't seem to go down to fit most women anyway. My thing is just, you're seeding this money. This is all, everyone's talking about ownership, and why it's so great, and we should be applauding the ownership. And I'm all for that. But my thing is, what's coming along with this price other than, hey, he's here and he's new? I'm concerned about technology. He hasn't played a game yet. And I want LaVar to sit down, because really we know that this is all about him. However, should my Lakers draft him, we'll draft Lonzo, as long as Lonzo does what he's supposed to do on the court, LaVar can go on and talk around Staples Center and then to UCLA and back to Chino Hills.
The problem is, we've just spent the last 10 minutes talking about LaVar.
Yeah.
He's not the one coming to play in the NBA. This is the problem. This is the issue. The fact that the spotlight is on him, not his son, who should be trying to compete to be the number 1 pick in the draft, because that's what you want to be. That's what he aspired to be. So the Lakers are not the number 1 pick. That doesn't mean, oh no, LaVar then says he's only going to work out with the Lakers. Oh no, he's just going to be a Laker. We're not going to do this or do that. You let him lose money too. The number 2 pick does not get as much money as the number 1 pick.
True indeed, and he doesn't have a shoe deal to back that up. But I've seen a couple of light anonymous polls of NBA GMs, and they say they're not worried about LaVar Ball and what he means to the franchise. And I think that the reason why I believe that to be true is that there are other parents that are in your face, maybe not doing interviews like this at the time, but you have to think, like Allen Iverson's mom back in the day was a trip. She was a handle thing. Gloria James, with LeBron's mom. Kobe's parents were considered overreaching and overstepping their boundaries in a lot of ways. The things that they would tell Kobe, don't pass and stuff like that. So I feel like the stage parent aspect of it, and we know that it's about LaVar and his failed dreams and he's living vicariously through them. I think that will all temper down. Right now it's all hype. Once Lonzo gets to wherever he's going to go, if he's not doing what he's supposed to do on the court, there's not really room for LaVar to talk.
However,
anyway.
I think that Lonzo has to do well. Otherwise, he's just gonna be a laughing.
He's
stock.
having far more pressure than he should have.
But
yeah, he's having more pressure than he should have. And that's the other issue, Jill, that you brought up. Is the fact that all the media, I mean, us included, we're spending all this time talking about him.
And that's what
Fox
LaVar
is
wants.
bringing him on. Yeah,
that's exactly what he wants.
LaVar is winning in that regard, and it's got to stop. Once Lonzo gets drafted, and say he does great, say he does mediocre, whatever it is, and the spotlight starts fading a little bit on LaVar, he's going to get a reality show because they're going to keep following
They're already working on that. They're already working on that.
And better believe he's getting
and that just makes me sick to my stomach that all this is happening.
But that's where we are. That's part
culture,
of that's part of the
society.
athlete kit. How many athletes in general, though? I in my book, Post Game Pass, Access to the Life, I wrote about the number of athletes on reality shows. That number continues to go up. Now it's gone back.
I'm not talking about athletes. I'm talking about an athlete's stupid father.
Right, but the basis of him getting a show is based on he has these 3 children. They're high achieving, and he's a trainer. He trains all the kids out in Chino Hills. He has this sort of connected to sports past, that minute with the Jets and all of those other things. So they're an interesting story. Just because something makes good TV doesn't mean that it's good sport. And I also think that at some point, Lonzo is going to grow into himself. He's been dealing with his dad his whole life. I know people that have parents like LaVar, and they're used to it, so they can tune it out. Once he gets in a new environment, that's where, okay, nobody was going to tell me my hair is sticking up. I'm sorry. I just saw that on the live chat. It looked like little bunny ears.
I didn't see it.
So I think that LaVar will have his own little fade, or you talking about UCLA and Chino Hills, as well as his top-of-the-line sports son, because honestly, we don't even know if the other 2 are going to make it to the league. We don't know what's going to happen in this. It could just all be for nothing, and we just let him go viral for a little bit, and he'll fade into the background.
Yeah. I think that if Lonzo does do well, LaVar's not going anywhere. I think he's just gonna be like, see, I told you, there's my son. He's doing this and this. He's beating Steph. He's beating LeBron. He's
Local
doing all this
celebrity.
Stuff. Yeah,
I'm just afraid that, I feel like Lonzo is going to be okay. He's going to be like a 14 points, 6 assist guy, which is good, but it's not worth all this stuff.
It's not superstar.
No, it's not all superstar.
We have a lot of time to fill.
And he doesn't have a wife, Jill, so he's definitely not a superstar.
No,
right?
He's going to have to. Well, he
Gotta
has
get
a
a wife
significant
first.
other, so, he'll probably upgrade. Not advocating that, just saying. Anyway.
We've talked enough about
Yes. Did we have any other news, or was that it?
That's pretty much it. That's yeah. That's it.
On that sour note, we'll wrap this up, and obviously we're going to be breaking down the next few games on Sunday at AfterBuzz Sports. But in the meantime, hey, JJ, the talented sir, how can people reach out to you?
Yes, sir. Hey, first of all, I want to give a huge shout out to my Cal State University Dominguez Hills Toros graduating tomorrow. Congratulations to their graduating class. Toros for life, D-horns up. As always, you can find me. Both Toros, that's right. Mm-hmm. You can find me all over social media at JJ the Talented. Click to find out why I'm so talented.
I'm Jill Munroe. You can find me everywhere at Stiletto Jill. Hit me up. I have lots of little interesting things on Insta stories. Check those out.
Coach Rodriguez.
What's up, guys? I'm Josh Rodriguez. You can follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at Josh_Rodriguez_. Also, download the Anchor app. I host a sports talk radio station called the 10-Minute Drill. You can call in, ask us some questions. It's a good time.
All right, and since we're giving college shout-outs, I'll shout out the graduating class of my Akron Zips. Go Zips. I don't know the exact graduation date, but I'm sure it's happening right around now. And follow me on Twitter at Josh Tariff. And for all your other AfterBuzz TV news and gossip, follow them on Twitter at AfterBuzz TV. Thanks so much for tuning in. For Josh Rodriguez in the booth, Josh Johnson, Jill Munroe, I'm Josh Tariff. We'll see you later.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.